Next, the lowdown on the sidecar scene, a field affected here by Grand Prix commitments, but nevertheless some strong partnerships in this race. Some of them tested in the rough and tumble of the outside world. A number of married couples competing here, including the Fleurys, Barry and Jane, New Zealanders living in the Bristol area, the Dobsons, Steve and Liz from Runcorn, another couple who seem to thrive on a joint approach to danger, and the Riders from Averley, Essex.
We started 3 seasons ago, and we basically formed just by chance, really. I was going to start driving with a friend of mine, mentioned I was going to start racing, and Joy just said, I'll be a passenger. And that was it. She's never looked back.
Joy, but wasn't that a bit of a foolhardy thing to do, to suddenly decide that you'd jump on the back of his bike?
Yes, I guess it probably was, but it was a good way of making sure that we do see each other at weekends.
Otherwise you'd have disappeared.
That's right, yes.
But you have had bikes for a long time and you've been experienced pillion passenger.
That's right, yes. Ever since we've known each other, really, we've had motorbikes of some description. What
was it like when you first took this on?
Terrifying, and it still is at times, but it's such good fun, it really is.
I was initially disappointed, because I want to do it with my friend, obviously, but once we got going, that was it. It was the way to go.
What about the test of the old matrimonial vows? That must put a bit of strain on those sometimes, wasn't it?
We've had a few near moments, I must say, yeah. It has put a strain on it at times.
And is she any good?
Yes. Yes, she just needs to build her own confidence up. She hasn't got faith in herself, but she's good.
But when you married Paul and became Joy Rider, didn't you think, oh Lord, this is going to be awful?
I know. At the time, it was a bit of a shock. I've got used to it over the years, and I guess really this is the best sport to get into with a name like mine. So
certainly works very well.
It does. People normally remember us.
Well, some people can never get too much of a good thing, and for the men in pole position, Brian Gray and Steve Pointer, you can say that again, because Brian Gray's been coming here for 25 years. And, well, man and beast, he's been competing at Snetterton. All eyes then on the lights. Away they go for this 12-lapper. The charge is on. And with men like Steve Webster away, and Steve Abbott also a chance for the lesser mortals to grab some Super Cup points here at Snetterton.
Barry Smith got an absolute flyer off the line there. Outfit 30 was very, very quick indeed off the line.
And, well, points in all directions, but finally goes in the way he wants it to go. Look at this charge behind. They're getting fairly desperate. Number 4, that's Brian Gray and Steve Pointer, we mentioned a little earlier. Number 14, that's Keith Brown. Oh dear. Yeah, well, good proper turnip this year. And, well, the Marshal's left us a sign. Hello, Marshall. Well, that's very sad. One of the married couples, and, well...
Barry and Jane Fleury that find themselves taking an early bath together.
And back with the race leader. Good scrap for second and third. Brian Gray losing out then to Keith Brown and Alan Brown. So Keith Brown... Oh, and it's desperate stuff. It's new bodywork being required. And Trevor Robinson, number 17, the man who can benefit most with the absence of the Starmen side by side, and just dipping out. And
on the grass.
Well,
37, that was Wright and Woodhead. So the Wright and Woodhead team really taking a difficult way round.
In motorcycle racing, it is said that there are old riders and there are bold riders, but not many old bold riders. But in sidecar racing, I don't think that's true. I think you have to be over 45 and completely insane.
Okay, I'll keep my foot against the commentary box door, Christopher, just in case some of those old, bold riders decide to come and get you, yes.
No, they're too busy rushing through turnip fields.
Oh,
straight
take
on.
that! Take that!
That got cut. Yes, well, in sympathy, that was Kevin Webster. Well, yes.
He's going for the sandpit.
And determined to get back in the action. That's Keith Brown and Alan Brown. They were up in the points before all this shindigs. 10th they were in the championship battle. And we're back with the scrap for the lead. And, well, they'll race anywhere where the wheels don't actually sink into the surface.
Spare a thought, though, for the passenger. These guys actually volunteer for this job.
No, I think more to be pitied than chastised. I'd go along with that. But, I mean, when you volunteer, you're not expected to get an awful lot of sympathy.
Oh, there they are.
And there's Keith and Alan Brown. And whatever problem... Well, no, I think they're going to are they back on board? Keith firing the retro rockets.
Well, it's the national power, and they've run out of sparks by the look of it.
They need a bob for the meter.
Well, the old jokes are the good ones, and we'll trip them all out here. And look at this now. Gray is going past the race leader, so Gray goes for the lead and grabs it, coming down towards the S's, off the back straight. But for how long is the question?
I don't know. Will they ding? Well, Brian Gray, Steve Pointer in the leading outfit, celebrating 25 years of racing, which started on July the 13th, 25 years ago, surprisingly enough, and it continues to run here. Brian Gray's son, in fact, also doing well in sidecar racing at the moment, going on the UK Riders ACU Clubman's Championship, I should say.
Through Russell's then. There's not a lot of room for two of them through there, that has to be said. And look at this, side by side now, Chris, up towards the top of the circuit, uphill from the slipstream now.
And Trevor Robinson trying to hold the inside line, and he loses second place again. The man Smith regained second place.
Barry Smith was good in the slipstream there, dragging up the start and finish hill and really used that to his advantage. But we've got the downhill back straight we're on now. Barry Gray still leads. I should say Brian Gray and Steve Pointer still lead. Seem to have got themselves sorted out a bit. It looked to me as if they were in some kind of trouble as everyone else closed up on them.
Brian Gray from High Wycombe, a motorcycle dealer. Oh, and here's this battle behind, which is turning fairly desperate.
Well, we saw there 20 was Paul Ryder and Joy Ryder. No, I kid you not. Paul Ryder and Joy Ryder then on the rapid dispatch. Husband and wife team again.
And, well, they're getting fairly sideways on. They're trying hard. As soon as these outfits start to drift, you know, the men are on the charge. And the ladies.
Three husband pairings here. Oh, dear me, and they're almost getting a bit of a help through Russell's there.
That was Kieron Kavanagh, I think, who was trying to assist them. And encouragement from the lady. Maybe out, but they're waving their mates on.
So, second and third still battling out there. Oh, dear me. 30, Barry Smith and Hopkinson having a terrible trouble with 17.
Oh, and Trevor Robinson goes through a bit of a mistake there, and I think maybe they're out. Maybe it's a problem. They appear to be touring. That's it. End of the day, end of the race. And it's a fierce old battle. They're fighting it out for 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th places.
Kavanagh looks for the inside, and God, dear me, that was opportunity never I saw. It slid through on the inside at the Russell chicane there. And really, Kavanagh, well, I don't know what he knew more than the others, but certainly he knew a fast way through there.
And Mike Cookson not too pleased about that. Losing 5th spot to Kieron Kavanagh. And Roger Boddy, who was in 3rd place. And that arm signal from the mechanic says it all. And back with the race leader. Brian Gray, 11 laps gone on his final circuit. Steve Pointer in the chair. And, well, it's just a nice way to celebrate 25 years of racing at Snetterton, Keith.
Absolutely. It looked like there may have been a hiccup right at the beginning of this race. It was a bumping and barging and boring all the way around the track. But Brian Gray took his time, worked his way to the front. Steve Pointer done a good job in the chair. And really a good turned out outfit. And a great race from the pair of them on their 25th anniversary, or at least on driver Brian Gray's anniversary anyway.
Yeah, Steve, I think, has only been with him a couple of years. Steve has been a passenger with other well-known sidecar names. So on the final lap then, through the chicane, the sidecar wheel lifts. The charge on then to the checkered flag. 20 points will go in the book for him. And, well, That will take his tally from 9 to 29. Trevor Robinson, though, he's happy. He goes into the championship lead. Trevor Robinson, 17 points. For second place, that moves him to 41, ahead of Steve Webster.
And there's confirmation of that result. A good win for Brian Gray from High Wycombe and Steve Pointer from Didcot, but not too much luck, I'm afraid, for the husband and wife teams. Paul and Joy Ryder, the first home, in 8th place in the field of 22, but cause for celebration elsewhere. Since he's celebrating 25 years, drinks are on him, aren't they?
I think so, yeah.
That'll be the first time in 25 years.
Good, well done. Good competition.
He was 30 when he started racing.
Was it? Oh, now we're talking. Now the secrets are coming out. Anything you want to say?
Well, I'll retire when Steve does. He's a bit older than me, so.